The story begins in 1870 in a small village, where we meet a beautiful girl named Benny. She lives with her father. Benny looks ordinary, but is very sweet, with a calm and shy smile on her face. However, this quiet girl harbors a big secret. Every night, Benny wakes up from terrifying dreams. Her father wants her to marry a good man, but no one would want to marry her if they knew the truth. Benny is always afraid that even if a boy marries her, will he accept her after knowing the truth? Benny lives with this fear. Meanwhile, in another village, we see a boy named Abel. He works very hard and runs a small cafe. He also lives alone. He wants to marry, but no one wants to marry him because he is poor, in debt, and has a back problem. Benny's father offers Abel a large dowry in exchange for marriage. Since Abel wants to pay off his debt, he agrees without knowing much about Benny. Then Benny's father brings her to Abel's village, where they are to be married in a few days. Abel is mesmerized when he sees Benny for the first time. He takes her to his house and starts talking to her. At that time, Benny says, "I want to become a mother very soon." Abel cannot understand this. Why does Benny want to become a mother so quickly? But Abel doesn't think about all this and gets busy with the wedding preparations and paying off his debt. At night, when Benny lies down to sleep, she thinks, "Will Abel accept me? If he finds out my truth, will he leave me?" A few days later, they get married in the church. Benny arrives at Abel's house with her father. Now Benny's father wants to leave her there, but Benny is scared. She wants her father to stay with her for a few more days because she fears that Abel will throw her out of the house if he learns the truth. But her father says, "I will come to see you in a few days." Saying this, her father leaves. Benny is upset. On their wedding night, Abel desires much happiness. When Abel starts to remove Benny's clothes, Benny gets scared. Abel then sees hair on Benny's chest, hair on her hands, in fact hair all over her body. Actually, Benny suffers from a rare condition that causes abnormal hair growth on her face, cheeks, chest, and everywhere else, which usually occurs in men. Benny has hidden this truth from everyone. She shaves and applies makeup every day so that no one sees the hair on her face. Because once, when people found out about her condition, they laughed and mocked her a lot. People considered this condition a curse, not a disease. Benny has only one dream, that people would see her as an ordinary human being and respect her, and that she could live without fear. But she knew that society would never accept her easily. That's why she had hidden the truth. But now Abel knows everything. He is very hurt, and he says to Benny, "You and your father have deceived me." Benny says, "What is my fault here? Allah has given me this disease." Benny tells him, "I have known this since childhood, but there is no cure for it." But Abel refuses to accept her. He doesn't even talk to Benny properly. Little by little, Abel starts to distance himself from her. Benny still hides her secret truth from everyone. Her heart breaks because she thought Abel would understand her. But Abel keeps wondering why Benny is so different from everyone else. One day, Abel blurts out, "You are not actually a girl, you are a boy." Hearing this, Benny is deeply hurt. She gets angry and leaves Abel's house. Benny doesn't return until the next night. A man informs Abel that he saw Benny going towards a cave-like place. Then Abel goes to that place and brings Benny home, but their relationship is no longer like that of husband and wife. Abel sleeps in a separate room. He doesn't even touch Benny. Instead, he starts drinking and gets involved with another woman. And Benny doesn't know about it. Meanwhile, the person from whom Abel had borrowed money comes and tells him, "You still haven't paid half of your debt, so you will have to sell your cafe to me." But Abel doesn't want to sell the cafe, so he asks for some time. Benny overhears these conversations. She wants to help Abel with his work. During this time, very few people were coming to the cafe. It was then that Abel read in a newspaper about a strange bearded woman who had become very popular, and people were paying money to see her. At night, Benny lies in bed thinking about that woman. Benny now wants to do something big. The next day, when two customers come to the cafe, Benny says, "I have hair on my body like a man. If you want to see, then come here with many people after a few days." Abel overhears this and angrily takes Benny outside the cafe because he doesn't want Benny's real identity to be revealed to everyone and for her to be humiliated. But Benny explains to him that she is doing all this so that people come to the cafe and Abel can repay his debt. But Abel doesn't understand her words and doesn't want to understand her love either. He goes back to the same liquor shop and spends time with that woman. Meanwhile, Benny no longer shaves. Hair starts growing on her face again. Abel asks her to shave, but Benny doesn't listen to him. Benny spreads the word throughout the village. "I have hair on my body like a man. Those who want to see can come to the cafe tomorrow." The next day, many villagers crowd Abel's cafe to see Benny. Since Benny hasn't shaved for many days, her facial hair has grown long. When she comes in front of everyone in this state, everyone is astonished. Seeing her, a boy named Rosalie touches Benny's beard to see if it's real or fake, and realizes it's completely real. He says, "You are still beautiful." Now the villagers no longer mock Benny. They don't consider her a monster or an animal. Instead, they see her as a strange and special person. Girls and boys want to touch Benny's beard. Benny is very happy because people are giving her the respect she deserves. Now she can live openly without fear. With her true appearance, Abel's cafe is now bustling every day. People come from far and wide just to see Benny's beard. And they also buy things from the cafe. The place that was almost empty before is now always crowded. Since the cafe is doing well, both Abel and Benny are happy. Benny now starts thinking of new ideas to attract customers. But Abel warns her, saying that people will get bored very quickly and start laughing at you. At this time, a journalist comes to Benny who wants to take her picture and print it in the newspaper. Benny agrees to this so that more customers might come to the cafe. Then one day, a man comes to the cafe, laughs at Benny's beard, and calls her a monkey. Although Benny is hurt by this, she remains silent, but Abel gets angry and pushes the man out. Abel already had a backache, and during those times, Benny wears a belt for him and takes care of him. Slowly, their relationship starts to mend again. Abel stops going to that other woman, but when Benny tries to get close to him, Abel backs away because he still hasn't fully accepted Benny. He wants Benny to shave off her beard, but Benny is happy with her true appearance. Then one day, the man from whom Abel had borrowed money comes again. Although Abel has repaid his debt, the man still blames Benny, saying, "Because of you, the laborers at my factory leave work and come to your cafe." Benny calmly replies, "I didn't call anyone. Those who come of their own will." Hearing this, the man gets angry and leaves. Meanwhile, Benny starts selling her pictures, which also financially helps Abel. Benny happily thinks that Abel will now have a little place for her in his heart. At this time, one day, the woman with whom Abel used to spend time during his contracting work comes. She goes to Abel's side and praises Benny. Benny then notices a hat on the woman's head and is shocked because she had seen Abel making that hat before. Then she understands that Abel has been in contact with that woman. At night, Abel angrily shouts at Benny, "First you lied and married me, and now you want to humiliate me in front of the whole world." Hearing this, Benny is deeply hurt and closes the door and cries. But later in the morning, she strengthens herself again. She takes pictures wearing a short dress and sends those pictures for promotion. These pictures reach the man from whom Abel had taken the loan. Now that man comes to Benny and tries to get close to her, but Benny clearly says no, because she loves Abel. At this, the man gets angry and threatens Benny and leaves. A few hours later, news comes that the man's factory has caught fire, and Benny's friend's husband is blamed. Then a case is filed against Benny in court, and Benny's friend's husband is falsely accused of starting the fire in the factory. These were the people who used to work at the factory, after drinking alcohol at Benny's cafe. Rumors spread among the people that Benny is a bearded demon woman, and all this has happened because of her. Now people start mocking her. Some even talk about sending her to a circus. And hatred spreads against her throughout the village. No one even talks to her or goes near her cafe. Now people start humiliating Benia and resort to various ways to scare her. One day, some people gather in front of her house and start beating her, shouting, "This is a boy, he cannot live in our village," and they start pulling her beard. When Abel comes to save her, they don't spare him either. And when their lives are in danger, that same man comes and drives them away from there. Benny goes inside the house with Abel. Then the doctor comes to treat them. They inform them that Benny is completely a woman, but due to a rare condition, she will never be able to become a mother. Hearing this, Benny breaks down because she had always dreamed of becoming a mother. Now Abel too starts to understand that he was wrong. Benny never lied to him. Rather, she was fighting with her own truth. Abel now begins to understand her and accepts her for who she is, without trying to change her. Abel says, "What if you can't be a mother? We can adopt a child." Benny also thinks this is right, and they both go to an orphanage. There, Benny takes a liking to a little girl who is not afraid of her beard. Benny is very happy and wants to adopt that girl. And the girl is also happy that she will now have parents. They talk to the nun, who tells them to come back after 3 to 4 days. Then they return home, and now their relationship becomes much stronger than before. They get close to each other at night. Then, after a few days, when they go to adopt the girl, the nun informs them that they cannot do so now, because the man who was spreading hatred against Benny in the village is a member of the orphanage committee. He showed the nun Benny's pictures in short clothes and said that such women can never be good mothers. So Benny and Abel have to return home empty-handed. At night, Benny has a terrible dream where her own father shoots her with a gun. She gets scared after seeing this dream. The next morning, Benny reaches the adoption center where that man and many others are present, and an event is being organized there. In that event, the little girl sings a song. Actually, Benny had promised her that she would come to listen to her sing. The girl starts singing with her friends, and Benny listens to her song with everyone there. That man tells Benny to leave from there. But Benny clearly stands in front of everyone and says, "I am a woman, yet why was I not allowed to adopt?" Saying this, Benny walks out, and outside she sees Abel. Just then, Benny faints and falls to the ground because she had tried to commit suicide by cutting her wrist. She is immediately taken to a room and given treatment. After Benny regains consciousness, she looks at her face in the mirror and realizes that her beard has been shaved off. Seeing this, she breaks down. She thinks to herself that this world will never accept her. When she learns that her father made the decision to shave her beard, she is even more hurt. So she quietly walks out of there and goes towards a bridge, because now she feels that dying is better than living a life hiding her true identity. Abel follows her and tries to stop her, but Benny jumps off the bridge. Abel also doesn't want to live without Benny now, so he too jumps. Both drown in the water and find each other in the depths. They leave that world which never accepted them. And here the movie ends. Why is the blueprint of the world so harsh? Diseases and everything are in Allah's hands. Then why do people face so much difficulty? So friends, how did you like today's video? Please tell us in the comments, and yes, subscribe to the channel and stay connected with us. We will talk in the next video. Till then, everyone stay well and healthy.